The truth is, I have not been seeing prosperity in my life, especially in the area of finances. So, I was on a Bible discussion this past Wednesday, and my pastor told us that God's promises come with instruction. I've never really heard that before. Most of the time, I'm just hearing God's promises are coming to you, or just believe the promise is coming, but no one's ever like pointed out the fact that it comes with instruction. So that means there's something I have to do in order to see the promise in my life. And if I'm being honest, I haven't seen the promise of prosperity, specifically financially. So, I sat for a little bit and I was like, God, show me the promise, first of all. So, show me the promise. The promise, this is 2 Corinthians 9:8. It says, God will provide everything I need, and I will have plenty left over to share. So the first part of that scripture, I totally believe. Like, I have believed that God will give me everything I need, and I've seen him give me everything I need. But then the second part, which says, and I will have plenty left over to share, I haven't necessarily seen that. And there's been a couple of instances, maybe in these past months, where someone has asked me for help financially, and I literally couldn't do it. There was times that someone asked me for just like $60, and I literally had zero in my account, and all I could give them was advice. And that bothered me because as a child of God, I feel like I am the one people come to. You should feel that way too. You're the one people come to when they need help, whether it's financially, if they just need advice, relationship advice, or anything of that nature. So that really like struck a nerve for me, because the $65 one was like, okay, not everyone has $65, but then I want to say maybe a week before that, someone asked me, just can they get some money to get some food? And all I could give them was like $2 or $3. And that really kind of like, it made me a little ashamed in a way, because I don't think I was really representing Christ the way I should. So I had to ask God to show me the instruction, because I've never heard that before. I've never heard that the promises come with instruction. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, let me spend some time meditating and asking God, what is the instruction? And the instruction came from, y'all should know where the instruction comes from. Proverbs, Proverbs 21:17. And the instruction is to stop loving pleasure. So let me read the scripture. Those who love pleasure become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. Sheesh. I'm not like a lover of wine, but I do love luxury and I do love pleasure. Like, if I'm being honest, we all love pleasure. Like, it's what most of the people on this earth are pursuing, which is really flesh. My dog is over here making a lot of noise. Hey, boy, stop. Okay. Anyway, yeah, loving pleasure, right? And really, loving pleasure comes from hating discipline in a sense. So let me put it like this. So if you know you have a project to work on, this is me, I can speak for myself. If you know you have a project to work on, and then you have the opportunity to maybe binge watch a show, which one are you going to do? Most of the time, I would binge watch the show, because that's pleasurable. It's pleasurable to know, like, I can just escape in this TV show, or I can escape by going to the bar, I can escape by going to certain places, or just doing things that aren't productive. Like, you can escape, and that's pleasurable. It's pleasurable putting off things that should be done, if I'm being completely honest. Or even for, health issues, like, it's so pleasurable to just eat a whole piece of cake. It's not pleasurable to eat a whole thing of maybe like kale or salad or something that's healthy but doesn't taste good. And that's just something I'm now realizing is the downfall of most of us, especially most of us Christians. We are supposed to be disciples. We are supposed to be disciplined in what we are learning and how we live our lives. And most of us really aren't. And I'm glad I'm getting this revelation now, especially since I have a kid on the way, about instilling discipline in myself and instilling discipline in them. Also my wife and, people who are in my family. So the first thing I did to kind of instill some type of discipline and consistency in my life is waking up every morning and writing down 10 things I'm grateful for. And shout out to my wife for kind of telling me about this. She didn't tell me to do it every morning, but she said, you should write things you're grateful for. So right here I have God's promises, which is the scripture I read. Then I have instruction, which is stop loving pleasure from Proverbs 21:17. Then I have an affirmation. And this affirmation is something I need to tell myself every day. And especially when, I'm feeling like I want to pursue pleasure over discipline. And it is from 1 Corinthians 9:27. And it says, I discipline my body like an athlete, making it do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. So basically, that scripture is written by Paul, someone who was a follower of Christ, an apostle, and wrote most of the Bible, but most of the New Testament. And, this is an affirmation I say now when I feel as if the flesh wants to do what it wants to do. Because honestly, we have the power over our mind, which controls our body. So if we don't have power over our mind, we can never control our body. So if I'm telling myself in my mind and out loud, you can say it out loud, you can say it to yourself that I am disciplined. I train my body like an athlete, making it do what it should. That helps snap you back into reality, because reality is I need to be disciplined. Fantasy is I need to do things to take my mind off of the discipline I need to be instilling in my life. So that's the affirmation. We got God's promise, instruction, then you need an affirmation, and then you need application, which is the last thing I wrote down. So it basically says for the application, and this is for me, it says every day I will write down 10 things I am grateful for. 10 things I am grateful for. And this is also for me to just start becoming more appreciative of what I already have, because how can I receive more if I'm not even grateful for the stuff I have? How can I be trusted with more if I'm not trusted with what I have now? So writing down these 10 things brings me into like a space of gratefulness and a space of responsibility for what I have now. And I believe through that, I can start seeing more come into my life because I'm taking care of what I have right now. It's kind of like the story about the servants with the talents. If you heard of it, it's in Matthew. Basically, these three servants get talents from their master. And I won't go into what talents are, but just think of it as money or gifts. So they get these talents and he gives them all some, and then they report back to him later saying what they did with the talents. The first person, he multiplied it maybe by 5. The second person multiplied it maybe by 2. I think the first one multiplied it by 10. The second one multiplied it by 5. And then the last person didn't multiply it at all. He just hit it. He literally hit it. So the master called him wicked and lazy. Wicked and lazy. And that's what you're being when you are ungrateful, because you're not appreciative for what God has done. Therefore, you're kind of declaring that he's not good already. And the things he has supplied for you is not good already. And then you're lazy because you're not putting in the effort or energy to renew your mind and tell yourself what you're grateful for, or to tell yourself I am disciplined, or to tell yourself things that are from the word. Therefore, you become wicked and lazy. And I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. So we're going to focus on what we do want, and that is gratefulness, that is prosperity, and that is also discipline. gratefulness, prosperity, and discipline. I think those three things are what every Christian, follower of Christ, should just practice every single day. But yeah, that's my little talk for today. God's promises come with instruction. Once you get the instruction, you need to affirm a scripture over your life that helps you follow through with the instruction, and then you need an application where you can actually do something to help you follow the instruction. Hope this made sense to you all. And you can type in the comments whatever you want. If you want to talk, if you got any questions, if you're struggling with something, I could pray for you. People who see your comments can pray for you. So until the next video, y'all stay blessed and be grateful for where you are and what you have.